Happy Wednesday, everyone, and happy birthday to a close and personal friend of mine, Mr. Michael Newton. I hope you enjoy your day, Mike, and I hope this adds to a little extra special. But what we have for you guys is a nice low rep work set with some high volume rounds. So to get us started, what we have is an Inchworm Bear Squat for 3 to 5 reps, standing lunge for 3 to 5 a side, single leg RDL jump for 3 a side, back lunge for 10 alternating, and a jump squat for 5 to 10. 2 to 3 rounds, taper down, get those things kind of fired up, and then we're going to move into a little bit more kind of dumbbell work and some lateral jump work with some jumping skill. So we have a dumbbell deadlift for 1 to 3 reps, we have our dumbbell power clean for 1 to 3 reps, dumbbell push press or jerk 1 to 3 reps, and then a lateral dumbbell jump over to get the heart rate up, get those legs fired up, and then trying to go right into 3 to 5 box jumps for skill and or strength. So take that down, you guys, get yourself fired up, ready to go. Then we move into the work set, which is 10 rounds of 1 dumbbell deadlift into 1 dumbbell power clean and jerk into 3 box jumps and 4 burpees. Pretty short, pretty quick, all right? But you're gonna cycle through those rounds nice and fast and steady. The cool thing about this workout today is if you have slightly heavier dumbbells, use them, all right? You only have 1 clean and press today, so use them to the best of your abilities, have fun with them, and challenge yourself. I'll have some loading, a rep scheme up there if you have slightly lighter dumbbells and don't have access to heavier ones. I'll have some reps up there for you on the workout description for a nice option if you'd like to play with that as well. But let's get you warmed up, fired up, and ready to go. All right, let's get those feet under those hips. Let's take our arms up big and tall. Just wake things up with a little shrug and a little reach. Just wake up the side, and then wake up the side. Oh, let's forward fold. We'll touch those toes. Lock up those shins. Come down, plant the hands. We're gonna step back into our plank. And get settled in there nice and tight through the ribs, through the shoulders. Pull back into our down dog. We're gonna come back into our plank. And then back up into our down dog. And then we'll come back through our plank into our lizard. And in that lizard, we're gonna take the arm up, big stretch. We're gonna rotate forearm to the floor. Come back up. Rotate forearm to the floor. Come back up. And rotate forearm to the floor. And back up. Plant that hand on the floor. Take the outside hand, big reach up to the sky. Plant the hand, step back into our plank position, nice and tight. Up into our down dog. Back into our plank. Up into our down dog. Back into our plank, stepping the other foot up. Nice and square in those hips. Inside hand, big scoop. Gonna rotate forearm to the floor. Big reach up. Rotate forearm to the floor. Big reach up. And rotate one more time, forearm to the floor. Big stretch. Plant the hand. Outside hand, big reach. Plant that hand down. Step back into your plank. Pull those hips back and up into your down dog. Back into your plank. Down dog. And plank. And tiptoe those feet up. We're gonna roll ourselves all the way up. Big stretch. Little shrug, come back down, little reach, oh, come back down with the hands. Let's get you guys ready to go. If you'd like to do some more gentle kind of warm up, some more rotation, cat-cow curl, whatever it happens to be, please pause the video, take that down for yourself. I'm gonna move into our first work set, which is gonna start with that good old bear squat. So we're gonna start and use the inchworm today, getting into the plank for our bear squat. So I'm gonna stand to the side. I'm gonna either take my arms up big and tall. I'm gonna forward fold, softening my knees a little bit. I'm gonna walk my hands out into my plank. Set my good plank up, set my shoulders, shimmy my feet into my squat stance. And then I'm gonna pull my hips back into that nice bear squat position. Press into my plank again, establish the good position, walk my hands back in. I'll stand tall, big reach, stretch out the shoulders, and again, hinge. Try to keep that back nice and flat and walk my hands out into that good plank position. My feet are already in my squat stance right now, so I'm gonna press into those shoulders, pull back, continuing to press those armpits down towards the floor, find that bear squat, and then come back into my set plank and walk my hands back in. So nice and tall, big stretch, and down. So I'll take it nice and smooth for those. Again, making sure that I set my plank, my ribs, my arms before I pull back into that bear squat. So we want to set ourselves up for a good, successful overhead position and good bear squat before we move into it. So don't rush the transition from inchworm or plank to your bear squat. We'll do 3 to 5 of those reps, and then you're going to move into our standing lunge position. So my feet are going to go into my squat. I'm going to step into my wide, longer stance. I'm going to go to the side so you can see profile, but my feet are squat width, long position, so I have 50-50 weight between both feet. I'm going to squeeze my glutes so I stabilize my legs and my knee. I'm going to take it down to the floor or as deep as I can maintain position. So in this lunge, I'm trying to keep my hip underneath of my shoulder, my knee over top of my heel, and my back knee nice and stacked under my hip. So I'm creating that nice stacked vertical position in that lunge. If you'd like to load that in a few rounds, please do so. If you don't want to, you're like, no, not a chance. No, it's not a big deal. Take your time, add a tempo. It'll make it more challenging and it'll allow you to build strength through the entire range of motion. So take your time, have fun with that one, and work to your range. After that, we're gonna get a little dynamic and we're gonna work our single leg RDL jump. So there's 3 variations of this for you guys. The setup is the same for each one. So I'm gonna pick my leg that I'm gonna use for my jump. So whatever leg goes back, the arm is going to reach forward. So it reaches in opposition, so I get balanced in that position. From there, I'm gonna swing that leg through and the other arm up. So it's opposite leg, opposite arm. The first variation is just working balance. So I pull back and I load that hamstring and glute. I come up with control into the standing high knee position. From here, I can also add a little bit of momentum into my positioning. So I reach back with the leg, reach forward with the arm, and then I come through and lift, get a little bit of swing through with that knee to come up onto my toe. And then my last variation, I get a little follow through with my ankle. Same setup, I reach, I long, and I come up, and I get that little hop, and that little finish with the ankle where I leave the ground. I'm not gonna get very high, and that's okay, but I wanna use that leg to lift and that little pop to finish to get that vertical motion in my jump. So play with that. If you wanna play with all 3 of them, do it up. If you wanna focus on one of the 3, awesome, do it up, but make it yours and have some fun with it. After our jumping, we're gonna work on that back lunge. So again, we're gonna take that standing lunge and we're gonna make it a little bit more dynamic. If you're not super comfortable with the back lunge or the forward lunge, you can do more standing lunges in place to work on that skill and control throughout. But what we got for you guys, I'm gonna turn profile again. I'm gonna step back, finding that knee alignment that I had in my standing lunge. I'm gonna lower down, stand tall, and forward. So this is a great opportunity to practice what we did in a dynamic way. So I step and lower, working on that same alignment, step and lower, working the alignment, and just keeping it nice and steady and nice and strong. So this back lunge is a really nice opportunity to figure out where that knee needs to be or how long our step needs to be to maintain a nice stacked knee over heel. After that, we're gonna keep it dynamic and we're gonna work one of 3 options in the jump lunge. The jump squat. So what we have is our normal squat stance. I'm gonna stand nice and tall. I can work on my air squat with a nice little fast stand or regular stand up. I can work on the non-jumping jump squat where my heels might come up, but I work on pulling down and controlling my descent. Or I work on the jump squat where I leave the ground. And I work again on controlling the descent all the way down to the bottom of my squat. And I work on that good deceleration. So 5 to 10 reps of the jump squat, normal squat mechanics, remembering the heart of a good jump squat is a good squat. So if you're like, squatting is hard enough as is, just work a normal air squat with perhaps a little more speed on the acceleration so you can work on loading the body properly to accelerate well. Quick recap, we have our Inchworm Bear Squat, 3 to 5 reps. Standing lunge, loaded or unloaded for 3 to 5 aside. Single leg RDL jump for 3 aside, one of those 3 variations. Back lunge for 10 alternating, or more standing lunges, 3 to 5. And a jump squat for 5 to 10 reps. 2 to 3 rounds of that, take it down strong, have fun with it. We are going to move you into that next phase, so if you want to pause the video, take down that first piece. I'm going to move into some dumbbell work and get you guys fired up. So we start off our work set with our deadlift. So our deadlift today is going to be a nice little pull action. So I'm going to set the dumbbell, because I have one dumbbell. I'm going to set it in between my feet, because the sumo deadlift is a nice way to get that dumbbell moving for our first rep, especially if it's a little longer range of motion. So the dumbbell's in between my feet. You can do this with 2 or 1. I stand tall, I pull my hips back and down, I take hold of that dumbbell and stand tall. I can continue to do sumos if I like, by taking it down in between my feet, touching the floor, or just taking it to your range, standing tall, or I can do my conventional. The back position is the same for both, all right? The hip hinge is the same. The only difference is the dumbbell's held to the side and my feet are a little narrower. So I pull the hips back and then I lower down and I take the dumbbells as deep as I can to maintain my back position and my hip hinge. So I get my hinge, I lower straight down to wherever I can maintain control and stand. From there, I'm going to work on a power clean, right? So I can take it from the floor or wherever that floor happens to be, somewhere below the knee. So I'm going to take the dumbbell back down. So wherever I figure I can maintain that position with the deadlift, I'll take it down. I'm going to stand it up, big drive through the legs. I stand tall, and then I come back down to the hip. I pull the dumbbell back and down. I stand it up and drive, landing in that little power squat. My hips are slightly back, my shoulders are up, and my knees are out, landing in that good squat position. I want to make sure that I'm landing in a position that I can land in, and if I was to say, I'm squatting, you could be like, all right, and you just continue squatting, making sure that we're not landing forward, because if I said, now squat from this position, you have to pull your hips back and then squat. So we want to make sure that we're landing in a power position. It doesn't have to be deep, but we still want to make sure we're landing in that little squat. From that power clean, I'm going to clean it back up again. I have the dumbbell up on the shoulder. I'm going to get set, and I'm going to work one of 2 things, a push press or a push jerk. My push press, I'm going to get that nice vertical dip, keeping the hip under the shoulder. My knees go slightly out, and my weight stays through my midfoot. So I want to keep my feet flat for as long as I can. I get the dip and drive up overhead. I come back down, I dip, drive overhead. I come back down. The jerk, same setup, same finish, except what I do is I dip up and I land in that little power position again. So I'm driving myself under the dumbbell once I have it moving. In the easiest way without thinking as you're learning the jerk, if you think I jump, a little jump, whoop, land with soft knees, you don't have to think too much, but the body does that little dip drive position kind of on its own. And then as you get more kind of comfortable with that, you can start finessing it, thinking a little bit more, cleaning it up a little bit and going from there. If you're not quite comfortable doing the jerk yet, that's fine. Work on that push press, because with a good push press comes a good jerk over time. So please keep that in mind. You're building that movement by practicing that push press. After the push press or jerk, we're going to do some lateral dumbbell jump overs to get our body set up. So I'm going to put my dumbbells down, or if you have something else you like to jump over at home, go for it. You're going to do a 2-foot hop, or a skip, or a step. It can be a low step, it could be a high knee step. All right, whatever you want to do, you're going to do that for 20 seconds. Getting the heart rate ready, getting those legs ready for jumping, and just getting fired up a little bit. Because right after those lateral dumbbell jump overs, you are going to go into some box jumps. So I have my box here ready to go. I'm going to turn it this for a second. My jump, we want to make sure that as I fire my hips, my knees go slightly out, And as I drive up, my knees stay out, and then as I land, I pull into that power position. The same position that I land in when I'm doing the power clean. So we want to think about that nice quick hip, jump, stand tall, and then we step down. Again, I fire the hips, I stand tall, stand down. If you're not comfortable jumping, or if you do like jumping, but you don't have an apparatus you can jump on at home, you can work on a step up. So you can work on that nice smooth step, loaded or unloaded. Or you can work on that lateral step over, depending on what you have at home. I'll also have some other jumping options on the workout description for you guys as well. If you'd like to do some jumping but don't have an apparatus, I'll have some there for you if you'd like to play with. One of which being the tuck jump, and I'm going to show you that right now. So if I don't have a box and I like to work that vertical jump, I can work on firing those hips, driving, and then pulling the knees up into my chest. So it looks like so. And I land soft in that power position, and I stand. These jumps are not meant to be rebounds. I want you to work on each individual tuck jump on their own. The other one that we can play with is a straight jump. So we get, instead of tucking, we get our arms, we get the jump the same, and as we jump, we reach, and we stay long in our hollow. So it's going to look like so. And I land with that soft knee position. Each of those jumps is for max power, and max power and extension is a relative term to everybody. But I want you to put all your effort into that jump, work on each one as its own individual jump. So those are two kind of fun options. We don't do all the time, but that's an option if we'd like to, and I'll have some other ones on the bottom of the workout description. Quick recap for you guys. We have a dumbbell deadlift, 1 to 3 reps, dumbbell power clean, 1 to 3, dumbbell push press / jerk, 1 to 3. We have a lateral dumbbell jump over for 20 seconds, into our box jump for 3 to 5, or a box jump option that's going to get you ready and fired up for the workout. 3 to 5 rounds, practicing, playing with some different things, see which one you want to work on in the workout. There's nothing wrong with mixing and matching the jumping options throughout the warm-up to find the one that best suits you today. Pause the video, take that down, get yourself ready. We're going to go through the work set and talk about how this is going to go. So our work set today is 10 rounds, 1 dumbbell deadlift, 1 power clean and jerk, and 3 box jumps or a box jump option, and 4 burpees. So if you're doing this with a single dumbbell, what you're going to do is 1 per side. So it's going to look like so. I will squat down, I will do my deadlift, I will come down, and I'll do my power clean, and then I will work on my push press or my jerk. So that would be my deadlift, power clean, and jerk together. Then I would switch sides. I would do my deadlift, I would come down, I would do my power clean, and I would do my push press or my push jerk, and then I would move on to my box jump for 3 or my jumping variation. So it's up to you and how you want to play with that. If you have 2 dumbbells, you'll just do a deadlift, a power clean, and press, and then move on to your box jump and then the burpee. I'll also have, again, if you have only a light dumbbell selection at home, which is fine, I'll have a rep option for you to get a little bit more volume in there to make up for the lack of load. If you have a heavy one, stick to that less volume and work on the heavier dumbbell. The box jumps we talked about already in our warm-up. So again, pick your option, play with it, hit that for 3 reps, and then you're going to work your burpee. So the burpee, we have many options for you guys to play with. We have our full burpee, where I come down, my hands come to the floor, I pop back, I do my nice jump, and then I stand tall, ready to do number 2. If I'm not comfortable jumping back or jumping in, I can work a step variation. So I come back, I step. As I step my second foot back, I lower, I press, and I step up, and I work my burpee that way. So any combination, jump back, step back, jump in, whatever works for you, play with it. But we want to make sure that we're getting that good hollow push-up as I come out of the bottom of the burpee. So I'm not snaking myself up. I want to make sure I'm tight and stable like I am in my humeral glide to knee push-up drill. After that, we have our squat thrust. So I can come down, I can pop my feet back, come in, good plank position. I can step into my good plank, jump it in. I can jump it back, step in, or I can step it back, step it in, jump it in. So whatever variation of squat thrust you'd like to play with, you can take it down, combination, move around, have some fun with it. We're always hitting that good strong plank. No sway back, no soft legs. We're jumping or stepping into that good plank, coming into that squat stance so we can land flat foot, finish the rep, continue on. It's a nice smooth flow for this work set, you guys. So we want to try and keep it nice and steady as we go through the work set. And that 10 rounds will go by pretty fast. All right, it's a relatively quick workout considering there's 10 rounds, but it's a nice work set, nice chance to play, and a good flow to it. So set yourself up well today, you guys. Work for quality, have a lot of fun. Happy birthday, Mr. Mike. It's gonna be a good day for you today. I can feel it, all right? But for all of you, have fun with this one, enjoy, and we'll talk to you very soon. Bye, you guys.